Hello everyone. Today we are talking about paging, one of the core memory management techniques used by operating system to map a process logical memory to physical memory without needing the memory to be contagious. So paging भनेको चाहिँ के हो त? Well, paging works by dividing a process logical memory into fixed size blocks called pages and dividing physical memory into equal size blocks called frames. अब हामीलाई paging किन चाहिन्छ त? Well, without paging, a process has to sit in one contiguous chunk of RAM, and as processes come and go, memory gets fragmented into small unusable gaps, which you can see on the slide. With paging, a process pages can be segregated into any free frame anywhere in memory, so those gaps just doesn't matter anymore. That's how paging eliminates external fragmentations. How address translation works. Here's the mechanism. Every address the CPU generates is a logical address, split into two parts, a page number and an offset. The page number is locked up in the page table, which tells us which physical frame that page lives in. The frame number combined with the same offsets give us the physical address in RAM. Note that the offset never changes, only the page number gets translated into a frame number. At the bottom, you can see the basic formulas. Page size is 2 to the power of the offset bits, and frame size always equals to page size. Key terminology. Before going further, let's lock down the vocabulary. A page is a block of a process virtual memory. A frame is the equivalent block in physical memory. The page table maps pages to frames for a process. Each entry in the table is called a PT, or page table entry, which also stores control bits like valid and dirty flags. The TLB is a small hardware cache that speeds up lockups by remembering recent translations. The MMU is the actual hardware unit that performs this translation on every memory access. Other types of paging. Paging भनेको एउटा टेक्निक मात्र होइन. So, आफ्नो सिचुएसनको अनुसारले operating systemले चाहिँ pagingलाई use गर्छ. We have got different kinds of paging like single level paging, multi-level paging, inverted paging, hashed paging, demand paging, and segmented paging. अब इम्पोर्टेन्सको अनुसार चाहिँ हामी पेजिङहरू हेर्दै जाउँ है त. Single level versus multi-level paging. Single level paging is सबैभन्दा simplest form हो. One flat table with an entry for every single page. It's simple, but for a large address space, that table itself gets huge and has to sit contiguously in memory. यो प्रब्लमलाई चाहिँ multi-level pagingले solve गर्छ by breaking the page table into levels. An outer level points to inner table, which points to the actual frame. This means we only allocate table space for parts of the address space that are actually in use, which scales much better for large 32-bit or 64-bit address spaces. The trade-off being one extra memory lockup per additional level. Inverted and hashed paging. Inverted paging flips the usual model. Instead of one page table per process, there is a single system-wide table with one entry per physical frame, recording which process and which page currently occupies it. This massively shrinks a table size, but lockup nouns require a search instead of a direct index. यसमा चाहिँ हामीलाई hashed pagingले help गर्छ. It often uses alongside inverted table for large square address spaces. The page number gets hashed into a bucket and each bucket joins together entries with matching page number and keeping lookup fast without needing one giant table. अब demand paging भनेको चाहिँ के हो त? Demand paging is about when pages get loaded. Instead of loading an entire process into memory upfront, most pages stays on disk until they are actually needed. Each page table entry has a valid bit. If the CPU references a page that isn't in memory, that triggers a page fault. The OS fetches the page from disk, updates the entry, and the process resumes. The payoff: faster startup times, more process fitting into memory at once, and no wasted RAM on code or data that's never actually touched. Aber इसका advantages और disadvantages क्या होता? On the plus side, paging eliminates external fragmentation, lets a process logical address space exit physical memory, simplifies allocations, and enables virtual memory and process isolation. On the downside, there is internal fragmentation on process last page. An extra memory reference needed to consult the page table, memory overhead from the table itself, added complexity with multi-label or inverted schemes, and potentially slowdowns from TLB misses. To wrap this up, paging map logical pages to physical frames so a process never needs contiguous memory. Depending on the size of the address space and how it exists, an OS picks from single level, multi level, inverted, hashed, demand, or segmented paging. And the fundamental trade off across all of them is the same. We accept some translation overhead and table memory cost in exchange for flexible, fragmentation free use of memory.